Niners visiting the Seahawks. We saw this matchup in week 1, then week 18 again. This is game 2 of the weekend on Saturday night. The Niners, we both picked Philly last week. They surprised a lot of people. This roster has been through so many injuries. Injury hell all year long. George Kittle mid-game last week, out for the season. I heard he was drinking a bottle of tequila in the locker room. I feel terrible for him, but at least they carved out the W. They're an interesting team. Is there any world you can see this Niners team coming up with the W?
Yeah, I mean, if they can beat Philly, they can beat Seattle. Although Seattle's playing better ball this season on both sides of the field. Just the way they're coached, Kyle Shanahan, Robert Saleh, just pulling that game out, they'll have a shot. They have the Super Bowl experience. But it's going to take a lot. Now that you said they lost George Kittle. I mean, geez, JV, they were already on like crutches, wheelchairs, stretchers coming in Philadelphia. Now they're going to, have a cast on their arm and, a boot going into Seattle. Just more wear and tear on them. So they have a shot. Vegas says Seattle's a touchdown favorite. I kind of think that's where it should be. Maybe you take San Francisco points, not money, but points. But, Seattle's just, at this point in time, where the two rosters are health-wise, Seattle's just the much better team, right? 49ers have the experience, but to me, as long as Darnold isn't seeing ghosts, Seattle's seeing the Lombardi Trophy. So I take them to win this game. I'll get back to San Francisco in a minute, because Seattle, they just went into a Levi Stadium and beat San Francisco to end the year pretty convincingly. Their kicker should have made a couple more field goals. But that defense of Seattle, maybe the best in the NFL, completely controlled. And that was with George Kittle, San Francisco's offense. And they're about to go into one of the toughest places to play in my lifetime, which is up there in that 12th man in Seattle, off a bye, well-rested, healthier. It's just a matchup designed, a situation, a Saturday night for Seattle to win. If San Francisco did want to win, though, got written down my X factor, it could be any one of these guys. Jawan Jennings, Kendrick Bourne, Demarcus Robinson, any one of those wide receivers, because I don't know what Pearsall's health is going to be. Ayuk obviously hasn't played the entire season. Deebo Samuel left in the offseason. And now when you lose George Kittle, the receiving room, Christian McCaffrey's like your best receiver, but your receiving room, you need one of these deep pass catchers. One of them needs a big game to get open and allow Brock Purdy to sort of carve up this defense. So if San Francisco was going to win, yeah, a lot of it's going to have to be their defense, which showed up big time in the second half against Philly, limiting JSN and the two running backs of the Seattle Seahawks. But I think they're going to have a game where one of these receivers, like a Demarcus Robinson, like he did to open the Philly game, just has like a 50, 60-yard pass, which can kind of break this game open. And remember what we said last week about how the keys for San Francisco is against Philly, given how they're so limited, they just need to come out swinging. I think they need to come out swinging again. On the road again, they need to take the lead early in this one. So if they have a shot, it's like taking that quick 7-0 lead, get Brock Purdy warmed up.
Well, that was Shanahan versus Fangio, and this week it's the exact same thing, Shanahan versus McDonald. Like, that's what the matchup is going to be. And the keys for the Niners, like, for the Niners to win this game, they got to keep Purdy upright. That's what they didn't do in Week 18. Now, granted, they didn't have Trent Williams in that game, but for this offense to function against a phenomenal Seahawks defense, you need Purdy to have a little bit of time to make some decisions in the pocket. Because the defense is so damn good, you got to give him a little bit in the pocket to make some reads and complete some passes, or else you're going nowhere. You also need Ricky Pearsall healthy in this lineup. I love Jawan Jennings. I love Kendrick Bourne. I love Demarcus Robinson. They were great last week, but Seattle's defense might even be just a different beast. They have been so great this year, and we saw what they did in Week 18. They were missing that X factor Week 18, that pass catcher that could separate, and that's Ricky Pearsall. When you boil things down, that's who he's there and meant to be. And obviously, number 3, you got to force Sam Darnold into uncomfortable situations. He will turn the ball over, and you need to capitalize. So my X factor for the Niners is Kyle Shanahan. On the Seattle side, they got to lean into the run game. K9 and Charbonnet are my X factors. They got to just prioritize that. contain Brock Purdy because he's been pretty mobile and doing really good things, extending plays with his legs at the end of the year here. And Kubiak needs to scheme up some really easy layup passes for Sam Darnold to get in rhythm and take the pressure off him for the majority of the game and hopefully ask him to make a play or two, but he can't be the entire game plan. So, like, my ultimate thought, Steve, Seattle is the better team, and I'm picking the Seahawks, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners win this game. Why? Simply because of Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold will have at least one costly turnover in this game. I'm calling it right now. He will have at least one costly turnover in this game. The 49ers will win the game if they score a touchdown off that turnover. And if they win the turnover battle by 2 or more, it's their game to lose. But they have to score TDs. Field goals aren't going to do it. Because not only do you have a really good run game in Seattle that ended the year super hot, you got JSN, you got Shaheed, who's a great pass catcher, but also lethal in the returning department. Seattle is ultimately the better team. They're healthier. But that's exactly what I said about Philly last week. Now I'm a little bit more comfortable with the Seahawks, but again, we've talked about it so many times. I'm almost expecting there to be a Sam Darnold pick six. I'm waiting for it. Last week I called it from Trevor Lawrence. I'm sitting there on the live and I'm like, here it comes. We need it. And he delivered it. 1 minute left in the fourth quarter. I can feel it coming. But I will say, Steve, if Seattle gets this win, they're going to the Super Bowl. Because they just need the confidence boost, right? Like, that's it for me. If you can get comfortable in playing in a playoff atmosphere and you're at home too, I think that's huge in Seattle, then they're going all the way. Like, I just think they blow through whoever comes out of Rams-Bears.
Oh, yeah. I mean, right now my Super Bowl is Bills-Seahawks, but when you talk about Seattle, this is a Super Bowl roster. JSN, 2 good backs. The statistics say this might be the best defense in the league. X Factor's written down, it's Sam Darnold, dude, 100%. Now, I know when I say my X Factors, I'm just picking the easy ones. Quarterback, defense. When some people want you to say the left tackle or the DN or Rashid Shaheed, at the end of the day, this game's going to also come down to Sam Darnold. Like you said, I feel pick 6 coming. I don't know what round it is, JV. It might be this one. San Francisco's got you and me on defense, so I don't know if it's going to be this round. But I certainly feel like it's inevitable any round going forward. And it's because as talented as I believe Darnold is, confirmed 14 win back-to-back seasons on different teams. That's a talented quarterback. I said the other day on my show, there's a reason why there's multiple Ghostbusters movies and Luigi's Mansion video games. When you think you're done seeing Ghost, there's more. And I still feel like it's inevitable that Darnold just has one of those bad games where he's taking a bunch of bad sacks or throwing some ugly picks. But that only happens if you pressure the quarterback. Darnold's not great under pressure. We saw it against the Lions and the Rams last year in Minnesota to close the season and earlier this season with the Rams. You got to pressure Darnold, get in his face, and force him to throw these bad rush time balls. I don't know if the 49ers defense quite has that, given that they're just all in the hospital, Bosa, Warner. But if they're going to have to affect the game, it's going to be that. I don't trust Sam Darnold, but Seattle is such a good roster that they could win with Sam Darnold just being kind of mid, just not turning the ball over, handing off to the running backs and just making a couple key throws to JSN or a tight end to pick up a first down like we saw end the season against San Francisco. Sam Darnold wasn't even that good. He wasn't even that impressive, but he didn't turn the ball over, and Seattle's defense kind of did the rest. So that's why I'm ultimately taking Seattle in this one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm taking the Seahawks. But I will say, and Seattle fans will say, oh, you're crazy. He had one playoff game. How can you call him a bad playoff performer? You're lying to yourself if you watched the Week 18 game, and every time Sam Darnold dropped back to pass, you were holding your breath. Like, everybody kind of was. And there were a few plays you were like, it's and it doesn't happen, right? He played a clean game. Stats look fine. 200 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. The run game did it. But there's no guarantee you get that in the playoffs. Now, again, the same thing goes for Brock Purdy. He's got to play a clean game. He had 2 interceptions against Philly. That's just not going to cut it against this Seattle team. I think they're just a more well-rounded team, a better roster. But if the Niners want to win this game, and they are the underdogs here, you're going to need a few things like that to go your way. And there is a benefit, in my opinion, playing from that underdog position where you got nothing to lose. And there are usually a few plays that kind of swing your way. And if you can capitalize, like I said, score a touchdown, maybe you pick off Sam Darnold on his own 30, you get a touchdown and you stomp on Darnold and the confidence is toast. Like, I'm not counting the Niners out at that point. I'm hearing rumors maybe Fred Warner's coming back. Listen, I don't know how legit that is, but I will say, like, there's an opportunity if the Niners can turn over the ball to win this game. But I am going Seattle with you here, Steve.